Chosen one, what you've been missing is already in your hands. Activate it now. What you've been missing has never truly been missing at all. It has simply been hidden in plain sight, waiting for your awareness to rise to a level where you can recognize it. This moment, this message, this divine nudge is not about searching for something far away, but about unlocking what has always been within your grasp. You've been praying, crying, fasting, asking for answers, clarity, purpose, and open doors. But the truth is both shocking and empowering. You've already been carrying what you've been waiting for. And now your spirit is being called to activate it. No more delay, no more doubting your worth. No more postponing your power. Watch this video all the way through, because the energy, revelation, and spiritual awareness you're about to receive is coded into every word spoken. And write in the comments your warmest wishes and type 777. This is the moment where wishes and intentions vibrate into reality. You're energizing the universe with your clarity, your truth, and your vision. You're no longer passively hoping, you're actively creating. Chosen one, you are more powerful than you realize. And what you once thought was missing is about to come alive in your hands. Now, Chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's start. You have walked through deserts with no map. You have survived seasons of silence where it felt like your prayers were ricocheting off walls. You've done more with less than most could imagine. And somehow, through it all, you kept moving forward, sometimes crawling, sometimes stumbling, but always holding on. That tenacity was never in vain. It's been proof of your anointing. Your resilience wasn't just survival, it was divine strategy. The missing piece you've been searching for, it's not another person. It's not a specific moment in time. It's not even a physical possession. The missing piece is your awareness of your own power. What you've been praying for has been disguised as your current reality. And that's what's so extraordinary, because God, the universe, the divine order, never withholds from you. But sometimes the blessing is cloaked to protect you from misusing it prematurely. You may have already received the instruction, the tool, the insight, but without the right state of mind, it felt invisible. And now you're starting to see with spiritual eyes, not just natural ones. You're realizing that the very job you resented was the training ground. The very heartbreak that nearly broke you was the key to your emotional intelligence. The detour that confused you was the preparation for your destiny. What you've been missing is what you already have. And now, your next step is to activate it consciously. Activation is not something mystical and unreachable. It's practical. It's a shift in posture. It's you deciding today to stop asking if you're worthy and start walking like you already are. It's taking your idea seriously. It's writing the vision down. It's setting the alarm earlier. It's speaking life over yourself even when no one else is. It's knowing that your words are creation tools and your mind is an engine of manifestation. When you activate what's already within you, doors swing open, not because of luck, but because your energy becomes undeniable. People can feel when someone is walking in power. Opportunities are drawn to those who finally say, "I'm ready now." You've held dreams in your heart like fragile glass. You've had visions of abundance, of healing, of generational breakthrough, but you waited for someone to confirm it. You waited for a right time. But, chosen one, the right time is any time you choose to believe. You're not late, you're right on schedule. The detours, the pauses, the reroutes were all part of the sacred design. You didn't miss your chance. You were gathering the strength to recognize it. And now you do. That knowing in your gut, that inner stirring, that's the sound of divine alignment. That's your spirit standing up, ready to walk in everything you've been quietly carrying. Let's be honest. How many times have you looked around and said, if I just had that opportunity, if someone would just open the door, if I had more support? But look again. Look at what's already in your hands, your story, your pain, your perseverance, your insight, your creativity, your instinct, your gift to listen, to write, to serve, to lead. You've been undervaluing what others would beg to have. You've been minimizing your uniqueness, trying to blend in when you were designed to stand out. What's already in your hands is the solution someone else is praying for. But it can't impact the world until you activate it boldly. So this is the moment of shift. You're not searching anymore. You're stewarding. You're not hoping anymore. You're harnessing. You're not wondering anymore. You're walking. You don't need permission to be powerful. You already are. You don't need the world to approve you. You're already chosen. You don't need the stars to align. You are the alignment. When you accept this truth, everything changes. Not because the world changes first, but because you do. Your belief system becomes magnetic. Your mindset sharpens. You no longer talk yourself out of greatness. You claim it. You no longer disqualify yourself. You prepare for your seat at the table. Let's get even deeper. There's a reason why this message is reaching you now. It's not random. It's not coincidence. This is a divine alignment of time, energy, and readiness. You are being reminded of what you've been ignoring or overlooking. Maybe you've been too busy surviving to realize how rich you already are in spirit. Maybe you've been so focused on what you lack that you haven't seen the seed in your hand. But this isn't a season to gather more. It's a season to activate what you already carry. When you shift into activation, your gifts will speak for you. Your spirit will draw the right connections. Your boldness will unlock blessings that were waiting for you to mature into them. And here's the powerful part. When you finally use what's in your hands, what you once saw as missing begins to manifest around you. Why? Because the universe responds to alignment. When your actions match your inner truth, everything accelerates. No more delays. No more confusion. No more self-sabotage. You've crossed the threshold of clarity. You are not lost. You are found. You are not overlooked. You are being revealed. You are not broken. You are being built. You are not unworthy. You are being equipped. And now that you know what's in your hands, your only task is to activate it with confidence. Chosen one, let this sink in. You were never overlooked. You were being prepared in silence so that when the time came, there would be no question about who you are. You see, what's in your hands isn't just a skill or a gift. It's a divine signature. You carry something that no one else on this planet can replicate. Your walk, your story, your energy. It's not a copy of anyone else's journey. That's why the process felt isolating at times. That's why you've had to walk alone more often than not. That's why doors didn't open when you begged, and people didn't stay when you needed them most. It was never about rejection. It was about refinement. You're not called to blend in. You're called to stand apart. That means you weren't just gifted. You were chosen. And with that chosenness comes a responsibility to recognize what you have been carrying. Because to carry something divine and still doubt it, that creates tension in your soul. You know you're called for more, but if you don't activate what's already yours, you will keep circling the same patterns. Activation is the only way forward. And the truth is, the moment you activate your calling, even slightly, the world around you will begin to shift because your inner frequency changes. You stop settling. You start commanding. You stop explaining. You start expressing. You stop hiding. You start shining. Think about the things you've been drawn to lately. The quiet pull towards something bigger. The dissatisfaction with surface-level things. That isn't boredom. It's spiritual stirring. It's the energy of unactivated greatness trying to get your attention. And what's been missing is not opportunity. It's your agreement with the divine truth of who you are. This whole time, the universe has been echoing, wake up, rise up, look in your hands. Because your breakthrough doesn't come from out there. It comes from the decision you make in here, inside your spirit, inside your thoughts, inside your faith. Everything starts there. Chosen one, let's be clear. You don't have to know how everything will play out. Activation doesn't require a full blueprint. It requires trust. Trust in what you feel called to do. Trust in the nudges that won't go away. Trust that if you take one bold step forward, the next one will appear. That is how chosen ones move. By faith, not by fear. You've spent long enough waiting to feel ready. But being ready is not a feeling. It's a decision. You decide you're ready. You decide to use what's in your hands. You decide that fear is no longer your leader. And when you do, your life starts responding to your courage. So what does this look like practically? It's simple, but not easy. It looks like showing up even when you don't feel seen. It looks like committing to the thing that scares you the most. It looks like treating your purpose like a priority, not a hobby. It looks like getting honest with yourself about what you've been neglecting. It looks like choosing discipline over comfort, clarity over confusion, progress over perfection. It looks like using what's in your hands, your words, your energy, your vision as tools of creation. Not tomorrow, not next year, now. Because right now, the momentum is shifting. Right now, your spiritual identity is activating. The power you've been asking for, it's already coded into your DNA. You're not becoming powerful, you already are. What you're becoming is aware, awake, responsible, conscious of your own divine inheritance. And with that awareness, you gain access to a level of abundance, influence, and joy that can't be taken away, because it's built on truth, not on performance, built on alignment, not validation, built on purpose, not popularity. You've tried fitting into environments that couldn't hold your light. You've tried silencing yourself so others wouldn't feel uncomfortable. You've tried diminishing your value just to maintain peace. But all that stops now. Because you're not here to fit in. You're here to set a standard. You're not here to shrink. You're here to expand. You're not here to conform. You're here to create. And everything you need to do that is already within you. Your hands aren't empty. They're full of strategy, of insight, of divine memory. Your spirit remembers things your mind is only beginning to understand. That's why you feel the pull even when you can't explain it. You were sent here for such a time as this. You're not random. You're not misplaced. You were assigned to this moment in history. So what are you going to do with it? Wait another year, doubt another season, postpone another breakthrough? Or are you going to say, enough, I choose activation? Because once you say yes to that, everything else aligns. Doors open, support flows in, resources appear, synchronicities increase. You realize you're not working alone. Heaven is backing your every move, because heaven responds to action. It mirrors your energy, and when you move boldly, you give permission to the universe to move with you. This is not just about potential anymore. Potential without action is just daydreaming. You've been called into real movement, real presence, real transformation. Not just thinking about your purpose, but embodying it. Not just wishing for a different life, but walking like you already live it. That's how you activate the divine. That's how you unlock what's been dormant. That's how you become the answer to your own prayer. And listen closely, because this part matters. The longer you ignore what's in your hands, the heavier it feels. Not because it's a burden, but because it's meant to be used, not hoarded. When you don't use a gift, it starts pressing on your spirit. It starts becoming frustration, anxiety, restlessness. That's not punishment, it's potential asking to be honored. It's greatness demanding your attention. The moment you say, "I will no longer delay," that heaviness lifts, because now you're aligned. Now you're moving in flow. Now you're no longer betraying your purpose. You're walking with it. Don't be surprised if, after this activation, you begin to lose interest in things that used to excite you. That's spiritual alignment kicking in. And don't be shocked if some people begin to distance themselves. That's divine pruning. Don't panic if the old way stops working. That's the universe closing chapters that no longer match your frequency. All of this is confirmation. You're rising, you're evolving, you're activating. This is your time. You are not waiting for a sign. This is it. You're not waiting for someone to validate your journey. You are the validation. You're not waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle in motion. Your hands are not empty. They are equipped. They are capable. They are chosen. All you have to do is move with boldness. Let fear shake. Let doubt scream. But don't stop. Don't hesitate. Don't look back. What you've been missing was never gone. It was just waiting for you to see it. And now, you see it. Now, you feel it. Now, you believe it. So, activate it. Chosen one, this is the part of the journey where you stop hoping for permission and begin creating your own confirmation. You're not asking anymore. You're announcing. You're not wondering anymore. You're walking. You're not trying to find out if you have what it takes. You're proving to yourself that you've always had it. And the world is going to have to adjust to this version of you. Because the version of you that was unsure, that hesitated, that constantly waited for the right sign, that version has served its purpose. But it cannot go where you're headed. That version is not compatible with the calling you're activating now. This is where your spiritual memory gets sharper, where you begin to recall who you were before the world told you who you couldn't be. You were born with knowing. You were born with deep vision. You were born carrying frequencies of brilliance that only now you're starting to recognize. So understand this. The reason you've felt the discomfort, the discontent, the inner friction, is because you were never made to remain still. You are a vessel of motion, a being of destiny, a living answer to prayers, not just from you, but from generations before you. That kind of power is not meant to lie dormant. It's meant to be activated, ignited, released. What you've been carrying isn't just for you. And this is where many chosen ones misunderstand the weight of what they hold. You thought your gift was only for personal breakthrough, but no. Your breakthrough becomes the blueprint for others. Your clarity becomes the map. Your voice becomes the torch. That's why you were hidden for a while. That's why it felt like no one understood you. Because pioneers are rarely recognized until the path they carve becomes the road others walk. And you, chosen one, are a pioneer. You are not simply meant to follow a path, you are meant to open one. And that path is opened with what's already in your hands. You're entering a season where excuses can't stay. Because the energy you carry now repels anything not rooted in truth. You're being recoded. You're being spiritually upgraded. That's why your tolerance for small talk is fading. That's why your need for external validation is disappearing. You've shifted from being a seeker to being a speaker, from being a follower of signs to being the sign. You no longer need to beg for proof that you're called. You are the evidence. Your life, your survival, your wisdom, your resilience. It's all proof that a power greater than you has been working through you. Now let's get real. You've spent years waiting for the one moment. But what if I told you that the moment you've been waiting for has been waiting for you? That the key was never lost. It was just buried under layers of fear, trauma, programming, and distraction. And now those layers are being peeled away. Now the fog is lifting. Now you can see what was always there. You didn't lose time. You gained refinement. You didn't miss out. You are being positioned. And the moment you drop the guilt of delay, you will see that nothing was wasted. Not one tear, not one failure, not one loss. Every ounce of pain built a foundation for this activation. Activation is loud in the spirit, but quiet in the physical. That's why people won't understand what's happening to you. They'll think nothing has changed, yet everything has, because internally, your engine has started. Your purpose has clicked into place. You've become aware of the treasure in your hands, and that awareness creates a ripple through the entire spiritual ecosystem around you. People will begin to treat you differently without knowing why. Situations will align, resources will gather, and opportunities will seem to come out of nowhere. But you will know. You will remember this moment, this shift. Chosen one, hear this with your whole heart. Your presence is not an accident. Your sensitivity is not weakness. Your discernment is not paranoia. Your intuition is not coincidence. Your inner knowing is not imagination. These are your gifts. These are the tools already within you, and every time you doubted them, you delayed their power. But now you're being called to trust them, to use them, to activate them with purpose. Because your soul didn't come here to be silent. It came here to echo, to reverberate with clarity, with purpose, with divinely guided power. And power doesn't always look how you expect. It doesn't always come with applause. Sometimes your power looks like walking away. Sometimes it looks like saying no. Sometimes it looks like speaking truth when your voice shakes. Sometimes it looks like starting over. Sometimes it looks like doing what you're called to do even when no one sees it. That's the kind of power that sustains. That's the kind of activation that lasts. Not performative, but prophetic. Not loud for attention, but loud in spiritual frequency. So now the question becomes, what will you do differently, knowing that you already have what you've been looking for? Will you still pray like a beggar, or command like a co-creator? Will you still wait for open doors or build your own? Will you still question your path, or will you finally trust the steps being revealed before you? Because here's the truth. When you walk like you know what's in your hands, life responds differently. People treat you according to how you treat your own energy. And when you elevate your standard, everything and everyone around you must rise or leave. That's not loss. That's alignment. That's refinement. That's divine clarity doing its job. Don't grieve what falls away after activation. It's not personal. It's spiritual. When you vibrate higher, what's lower can't hold on. And that's a good thing. You're not trying to be who you used to be anymore. That version of you was necessary, but it was just the soil. Now the seed has broken open. Now the roots have reached deep. Now the sprouting begins. The moment you activate what's in your hands, the fruit will begin to show. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. Just activate. Just move. Just become. And in doing so, you'll begin to see how everything starts working for your good, not because the world suddenly changes, but because you've changed. Your posture, your focus, your choices, your thoughts, they all start operating from a different frequency. One of power, one of peace, one of purpose. And from there, the life you once only dreamed of starts to manifest in real time. You're no longer waiting for someone to hand you something. You're realizing your hands already carry the anointing, the opportunity, the authority. So whatever it is you've been dreaming about, whether it's the business, the platform, the healing, the book, the shift, the next level, know this. The first step is already in your hand. Now is your moment. Don't think about how far you still have to go. Just activate what's already here, right now. Chosen one, you're no longer in the season of waiting. You're in the season of wielding. You're not empty. You're not uncertain. You're not behind. You are fully equipped, fully seen, and fully authorized to begin. The idea that something external must shift before you take action is no longer valid. That mindset was survival-based. But now, you've stepped into your creative self, your generational shifting self, your divine in action self. What used to delay you no longer has access. What used to shake you no longer has power, because you've reached the moment of full realization. It's already in your hands, and that means nothing can stop you unless you allow it. There's something powerful about this awareness you're stepping into. It's like waking up inside your own story, like remembering that you were the writer all along, not just the character. It's the moment when your eyes adjust to your own brightness and you stop dimming it for other people's comfort. You realize your light isn't too much. It's a mirror. It's a beacon. It's a signal to others who are ready to rise. But before your light could fully shine, you had to go through the darkness that made you seek it within. That journey wasn't wasted. It was refinement. It was preparation for the weight of what you carry now. Let's be honest. There were moments you almost gave up on yourself. Times when your dreams seemed ridiculous. Days when silence made you feel abandoned. But the fact that you're still here, still seeking, still listening, that's proof of your divine DNA. Your spirit refused to quit, even when your mind tried to. You were built for endurance, yes, but more than that, you were built for impact. That's why you couldn't rest in mediocrity. That's why average always irritated your soul. That's why you always felt like you were meant for something more, even when you had no evidence. Because your spirit remembered what your mind forgot. You were chosen to activate something timeless. And now, that activation is no longer a theory. It's a necessity. The time to hesitate has expired. You're no longer asking if you're good enough. You're asking how to go deeper. You're no longer wondering if you'll be accepted. You're declaring that you are necessary. You're no longer shrinking to fit a space. You're expanding until the space has to shift around you. This is what spiritual authority looks like. It's not arrogance. It's alignment. It's you walking in your assignment without apology. Do not second-guess yourself now. You've been shown too much. You've survived too much. You've learned too much. You've been poured into, stretched, broken, mended, and molded for this. There is no going back. Even if you tried, your old self would reject you. That version of you has expired. It no longer fits your soul. You've outgrown the cage. You've outgrown the waiting room. You've outgrown the storyline that said, maybe someday. Today is that day. This is that moment. And here's the thing. The universe doesn't respond to passiveness. It responds to presence. The minute you show up fully, not partially, not shyly, but powerfully, the flow begins. Resources align. People take notice. Your steps are ordered with clarity, because when you move in truth, creation must obey. That's the law of spiritual momentum. When you move in alignment with what's in your hands, everything in the unseen begins to shift to match your energy. And things that once seemed impossible, they start showing up without warning. That's not luck. That's activation. You may still feel like you don't have all the answers. Good. You're not supposed to. Activation doesn't require certainty. It requires commitment. You don't have to know how the whole staircase will unfold. You just have to take the first step with conviction. And once you do, the next one appears. That's how it works. That's the mystery you've been missing. The fullness of your future won't unfold until you commit to what you already carry. And what you carry is already enough to move mountains, already enough to break cycles, already enough to transform lives. But it can't work if you don't work it. You must use what's in your hands. Your gift is not small. Your voice is not irrelevant. Your calling is not vague. You are specific. You are strategic. You are supernaturally designed for impact. Don't let your mind talk you out of what your spirit keeps pulling you into. That pull you feel? It's not random. It's a signpost. It's the divine knocking again, saying, remember who you are. Don't ignore it this time. Don't silence it with logic. Don't bury it with distractions. Lean in. Answer. Activate. And yes, activation will change you. It will disrupt your comfort. It will challenge your friendships. It will shift your priorities. But all of that is necessary, because the life you're building cannot be supported by the same structures that upheld your survival self. That was maintenance. This is movement. And movement requires momentum, direction, boldness, and truth. That's what's being born in you now. You are becoming unstoppable, not because you're perfect, but because you're aligned. And aligned energy can't be manipulated. It can't be bought. It can't be contained. Let go of the belief that someone else is going to show up and hand you your purpose. Let go of the lie that you need more before you begin. Let go of the habit of second-guessing what you feel called to do. Because the moment you begin honoring the knowing in your gut, the world will begin honoring you. You set the tone. You are the thermostat. You control the atmosphere of your life by what you activate. So don't wait for someone to name you. You've already been named. Don't wait for someone to choose you. You've already been chosen. This is a spiritual responsibility now. You can't go back to pretending you don't know. You can't keep distracting yourself with things that shrink you. You can't ignore the nudge when it shows up in your dreams, in your moments of silence, in the tension you feel when you're out of alignment. That's the call. That's your spirit saying, it's time. And yes, it's uncomfortable, but you've been uncomfortable before. You've been through pain before. You've lost before. You've had to rebuild before. So don't let fear lie to you now. You already know how to rise. But this time, you're not rising for survival. You're rising for impact. You're rising to serve. You're rising to activate your assignment. And when you rise with that intention, the universe bends in your favor. Doors open. People are drawn to you. Support appears. Not because you're chasing it, but because it's responding to who you've become. Your elevation is magnetic. Your authenticity is your access point. And when you combine the two with discipline, there is no limit to what will unfold. Chosen one, you are now standing at a threshold. This isn't just a shift in your emotions or your ideas. This is a full recalibration of your identity. You're stepping into a higher frequency of purpose. And once you activate that frequency, everything that is not aligned with it must either rise or fall away. This is why it feels like things are both collapsing and coming together at the same time. Don't be alarmed. That's confirmation. That's what it feels like when the old version of you can no longer hold the weight of your new mission. You're not being punished. You're being positioned. You're not falling apart. You're falling into place. And what's falling away was never strong enough to carry you into your next level anyway. That version of you, the one who waited for external validation, the one who stayed quiet to be liked, the one who played small because others couldn't handle their own insecurity around your greatness. That version of you did what it had to do to survive. But now you're being called to lead, to build, to influence, to activate your life from the inside out. This activation isn't just about you receiving, it's about you releasing. Releasing your truth, releasing your genius, releasing your presence into the places that have been waiting for someone like you. There are people right now whose lives will shift the moment you stop hiding. There are breakthroughs tied to your voice. There are doors that won't open until you show up. You are not just carrying potential, you are carrying prophetic impact. And the world doesn't need more noise. It needs your authentic power. That's why this shift feels so spiritual, because it is. You're not just entering a new phase in life. You're being reborn in awareness. This is spiritual maturity in action. It's where you stop outsourcing your power and realize you were the source of movement all along.